is Phil-Leigh returning with another edition of Inside Digital Media, brought to you by WebEx, Mergers.com, and Focus Investment Bankers. And this, what I'm going to do is a video narrative of a recent report I wrote called Gravitational Attraction Within the Internet Cloud. And basically, there are a couple of things that got me started here. One is I was growing increasingly frustrated by the problems that I've been having with my computer every time it seems like I download a new program. Secondly, having done interviews now for about 4 years on Inside Digital Media, I've interviewed a lot of interesting companies, but what's happened is that over time, it's easy to forget, just what was the name of that website, who was the company, who was the guy, and that sort of thing. So that led me to conclude a couple of things. Number one, kind of my perspective on Web 2.0. Really, to me, what it's all about is that the internet is becoming a computing platform. Originally, back in the 50s and 60s and most of the 70s, the primary platform for programs was the mainframe computer. Then beginning in the late 70s and then the 80s, the primary platform became the personal computer. Starting sometime in the late 80s and up through most of the 1990s and into the current century, the primary platform really became the local area network. The mantra, Sun Microsystems, the network is the computer. That's really what that was all about. And now we're entering an era where the internet itself can become a platform, and there are several advantages to that. One is that there's no need to download programs. Presumably, if the programs that are available on the web, I don't have to download them. And the problem with downloading new programs is that it almost invariably causes some sort of an installation problem. Sometimes that problem is so bad it corrupts other necessary programs that I've got on my PC. This is a situation that's really gotten to be intolerable. Web 2.0 is a good solution for that. Secondly, with the program being on the web, something I just accessed by going to the internet site, I don't have to maintain that software. That's another big problem, is that every time I want to use an application that's on my computer, it seems like every time I want to do it, that it's check for updates. Oh, well, there's updates available. You got to get the latest thing. You got to get the latest security patch or something like that. And of course, Microsoft is the biggest problem in that context. And so lately, I've had a situation where the automatic Microsoft fixes and downloads of updates, they won't install properly, and it's frustrating. And it costs lots of money to get all that fixed, get a computer technician to come in and get all that fixed. So to the extent that I can get the applications, the new ones that I want to use are located on the internet web, I don't have to maintain them. I don't have to worry about new installations and updates. And whoever is providing me that service has to do it. And then the third advantage, of course, is that it means that applications that are available on the web can be used anywhere. So I don't have to lug a laptop around with me. I can go anywhere I want in the country, in the world, as long as I can get into the internet. I can go use the software that's available to me on the web. So those are three important advantages, but I think that there's two important implications to come from this. But before I get into those implications, I'd like to go back and emphasize, with respect to the four platforms that I discussed earlier. First being the mainframe computer being the platform. Second being the personal computer being the platform. Third, the local area network being the platform. And then a fourth, Web 2.0, meaning the internet becomes the platform. An important point to observe here is that in each one of those eras, each one of those four eras, or three of the earlier eras and the current era that we're just now entering, the fourth one, there was a different company that dominated. And as we transitioned from one platform to another, there was the opportunity for a new company to become the dominant supplier or the dominant company. And so clearly in the first era with the mainframe computers, all that worked out to being IBM. They beat Burroughs, they beat Univac, they beat all the others. Then when the personal computer came along, Microsoft began to rise in prominence. And really during that period when the PC itself was the primary platform, two companies dominated, basically IBM and Microsoft. But when the local area network became the dominant platform, then Microsoft became the dominant company. Now, as we're entering this fourth era of Web 2.0, I think the odds are pretty good that we're going to see some shift in leadership. That in the rearview mirror, 5 years hence, we're going to look back and we're going to see that, there was a change in dominance. Some other company is going to be dominant. I don't know whether it's going to be Google or it's going to be Apple or what, or maybe it's going to be shared, kind of like it was during that period when Microsoft and IBM shared it. Now, to get to the two implications that I think are important as we move into Web 2.0, number one, Web 2.0 software is really more like a service than it is a product. For important applications, it takes on utility-like business characteristics. So it implies that companies that are good at developing products are not necessarily going to be good at providing services. And that may be a challenge for Microsoft. And the companies that are good at providing services may have an advantage here. One example being Salesforce.com, and then another one being WebEx. The second implication that I want to emphasize here is that as applications develop on the web, and we use them there, access them there as opposed to downloading them on our PC and then installing them and updating them and all that stuff from our PC, there's going to be a lot of applications. And what's going to happen over time is that the important ones, the ones that are going to be successful, are going to tend to concentrate at certain points within the internet cloud. And I kind of was thinking, what's the analogy here? During the formation, scientists believe during the formation of the solar system, what we had initially was a big cloud, a spinning disk. And then gradually the disk had, of course, points where the density of the disk was greater than other points, and in those higher points of density you began to see concentration there, and those ultimately became planets. Jupiter, of course, being a large planet with a lot of influence, Mercury being a small one that really has only influence in its nearby neighborhood. Well, I think that what we're going to see in the internet cloud is that companies that provide platforms that enable Web 2.0 applications to be layered upon, those companies have the potential to become those concentration points, analogous to the formation of the planets in the solar system. So, Facebook.com seems to be focusing on becoming a platform that will be attractive to companies that are developing Web 2.0 applications that have to do with consumers and with social networking. Salesforce.com or Force.com, their approach seems to be to focus on providing a platform that will be attractive to Web 2.0 software providers on the net that are concentrating on meeting the needs of general purpose business software. And then a third company that I think is intriguing in this context is WebEx, with their WebEx Connect and their Mediatone. Essentially, what I think WebEx has the potential to become is a concentration point around which companies that are providing Web 2.0 software, or even conventional client-server software, will tend to gravitate to use as a platform for establishing real-time collaboration. And so in a sense, WebEx Connect and its Mediatone network hopes to become the ether, which is, of course, the imaginary substance that, radio waves were supposedly traveling through across the entire solar system, throughout the universe. And what I think WebEx wants its Mediatone WebEx Connect platform to become is sort of the ether in the internet cloud that enables programs that want to permit the users of those programs to collaborate in real time over any distance to do so. So those are kind of the points that I'm emphasizing here with this research report entitled Gravitational Attraction in the Internet Cloud.